I've been on this really big kick lately with people who call themselves leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, I'm a leader. Well, I don't think you can really say that about yourself.
Right.
You know, other people, we're the number one whatever band in the country. According to who? I mean, you know, it goes back to my radio day. We're the number one radio station. Yeah, according to Women 35-54 in this particular time slot. But
right.
Okay, you know, it's all these claims where you got to be able to validate the magnitude of the claim.
Okay.
My daughter this morning was asking me at school, or she was telling me at school that they were going through who's a good and bad leader throughout history and stuff like that. And I said, did they define what that means? She goes, yeah, we had to define what we thought it meant. And I said, do you want to know what I mean? I think. She goes, yeah, of course. So I said, listen, a bad leader is someone who says go. And they're sitting there like they're cracking the whip, so to speak. Right. A good leader is someone who's saying, let's go. And they're with you. That's okay. A good leader is going to have people who will take a bullet for him. A bad leader is going to be one who gets killed in friendly fire.
Yeah.
You know? And I learned that in the car business. I learned it in the radio.
Yeah.
I said, you know, I had a boss in radio the first go around who was great. He was a mentor. The guy who followed him was kind of like, eh.
Right.
So I went to Vegas. Guy who hired me was a great leader, great, very inspiring. I still talk to him today.
Yeah.
The guy that followed him basically said, you know, y'all are here to make me look good. And I'm like, the hell we are.
Right.
And I was gone within a year or so.
Yep.
And then I got hired here. And I've had really good leaders where I worked here and didn't have that juxtaposition. Got into the car business, worked for Steve Brink over at Crest Honda. And he was a great leader. But he was one of those guys that, you know, he would come in and start with the detail guys and the porters. Hey, how you guys? Shake their hands, look in their eyes, making sure they feel valued.
Yep.
And he worked through the service department and all through the sales floor and the F&I people and get to his office. And I mean, dude, the freaking place could be burning down.
Yeah.
And he would come out of the office with a big old smile on his face. He's just like, I have to shield you guys from the crap.
That's it.
Okay, that I have to deal with.
Yep.
And I don't get to take that out on you. He was a great leader.
Yeah.
And that wasn't something he proclaimed about himself. That was a mantle given to him by the people who followed him.
That's right.
Okay. It drives me nuts. Well, as leaders, you know, you see it on LinkedIn all the time.
Right.
Okay, who made you a leader?
Right.
You know?
I'm a leader in my industry. I was like, are you? I was
Really?
like, you know what? Because,
Who says?
when you start talking about metrics and what have you, and once again, it's like, it's up to each person's discretion. But I agree with you on the fact that it's like a true leader really is not proclaiming that of themselves. They're sitting there, they're leading by example.
Right.
And they're saying, hey, you know, like, I love the fact that, you know, the detail guys and the porters is like, hey, you know, and it's not just, hey, I want to make sure that everyone knows I'm friendly with them. It's like, no, it's like, you have value. You have value.
I'm acknowledging you.
Yeah. Hey, I need the janitor to do their job, because if our lobby looks like crap, nobody wants to sit here and wait while their car is getting repaired, you know, and it's those little details like that. And I'm horrible at quotes, but it basically, I forget who even asked the dude, but basically somebody asked a janitor at NASA and goes, hey, you know, like, what do you do here? He's like, oh, we're working to put a man on the moon. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and clearly that was, you know, back in the day before they actually put that man on the moon. But the whole thing is, it's like, dude, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, there are no small roles in most companies, and this trickles down to, it should really start with our family, because, you know, I told my 9-year-old and my 11-year-old often, I go, hey, check it out. I was like, you're not just our kids. You're not just, you know, a young kid here at the house. I was like, you're part of this team. I was like, without you, I can't, this household doesn't function. I need you to take the dog out. I need you to take the trash out. I need me to do all the things that your mom asked me to. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's like, we all have a role here. Yeah. And, you know, nobody is more important than the other person. And that means double for you guys, because I need you guys to understand how important it is that you do what's asked of you, so that we can do what's asked of us, you know?
You know, it's funny. You ever been to a Buc-ee's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The signaling that they do is so interesting. I have this whole thing that I talk about called signaling. At any given time, we're signaling to other people. Yeah. You know, verbally or non-verbally.
Yep.
And it's a marketing thing as well. It goes back to the when ID theft was really at an all-time high. There was a company whose name I can't remember, which disproves my point. But either way, they had an ad and a campaign that the owner of the company put his own social security number, like in the ads, on the sides of billboards, on the sides of box trucks, driving around cities.
Right.
That was how much he believed in his product and service.
Oh.
That go ahead and do what you need to do.
Right.
And I think two people might have tried to steal his identity and they were successful, but that was it.
Yeah.
So it's like, but him going out on that limb signaled this is how much confidence I have in this.
Right.
Yeah, even I got a couple of black eyes because of it, but was quickly fixed and rectified. That's what you're buying into.
That's it.
So that's signaling. So you go to Buc-ee's. What do they have on the sidewalk? Little sign. You know that sign I'm talking about? Hey, this is what our positions pay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go in there, you have a good experience.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're hiring the cream of the crop.
That's it.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
People coming out of the woodwork to the new Murfreesboro location.
Yeah.
They're going to be covered up.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
In and out, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you'll take care of your people, and honestly, the team that I'm with now, Bell Bank Mortgage, the motto is happy employees, happy customers.
Mm-hmm.
And you're absolutely right, because, I haven't talked to a single person that's kind of like, it's all right. They're like, no, like this place, and some of these guys are like myself. They've been in the industry for years and, we've bounced around and it happens. But ultimately at the end of the day, they're like, no, like, so I was like, all right, so how many years have you been here now? And some of them, they're like 5 years, 7 years, 9 years, 10 years, 15 years. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. But it really is that thing. It's like, hey, someone who feels valued will do more than someone who does not, and that goes right back to the family unit. And, if you'll take stock in your spouse and like, hey, you humble yourself and you go, I couldn't do this without you. I know I couldn't do this without you, and that's just me personally speaking. But to a lot of us, even to your kids, I was like, hey man, it's like, if you didn't do what I needed you to do, my life would be a lot harder. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then especially when it comes to employees, it's like, I used to shy away from this maybe 25, 26 years ago. And I stopped that, and I was working in a nightclub, which is bananas to begin with. Yeah. But it was even in that, kind of crazy atmosphere. We had porters and we had barbacks. So it was porters, barbacks, bartenders, right? Mm-hmm. And, the porters and the barbacks, it was always please and thank you. And I saw that some of the other bartenders wouldn't exactly reciprocate that same type of gesture. Mm-hmm. And I would and we would be all buddy. And I go, hey man, I was like, this dude makes a third of what we make. Mm-hmm. If you would just give him the common respect that they deserve to begin with, I go, I promise you that your ice would never go low. That's why you're always complaining, right? Because your ice is going low. And they're like, yeah. I was like, yeah. I was like, it's because you're kind of a punk to him. Mm-hmm. I was like, so, like you show him a little bit of respect and I promise you things will improve. Now, on the flip side, I'd also be like, hey man, I get it. This guy's kind of a tool. But if you'll, if you'll give him the same type of attention that you give me, I think that there could be some extra money in it. And, whatever that motivation is. But then both sides start coming up and I was like, hey, look at this. Like we're almost always get along. You know what I'm saying?
It goes back to like what we talked about earlier, communication.
Yeah.
Biggest crux of any business is lack of communication or not enough. And it's, you see it everywhere, like what you're talking about.
Yep.
Communicating, even if you're a barback, if you're a low man on the totem pole and you don't like the way someone's treating you, then tactfully speak up.
There you go.
And let them know. Be like, hey, man, I did this in the car. I've told this story numerous times. Had a guy in the car business who basically postured to me, condescended to me, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, look, I completely get it. Now, at that time, I was 37. You deal with a lot of new people. There's a revolving door.
Right.
People, you're trying to discern who sees this as a career versus a job. Right now, I'm here because this has got to be a career. I've got a family. I've got a house, the insurance, all that stuff. I got a lot in the line.
Right.
Okay. I appreciate you taking your time out. and having the patience to show me how to do this. But then I got up on my fist on my hands and said, but if you ever talk to me like that again, we're going to have problems.
That's it.
I am not 22 years old. I'm not wet behind the ears. I've had a couple of laps around the sun.
Right.
I said, just take stock in that, and I'll show you that I'm a decent person to pour into.
That's right.
Does that make sense? And he was like, one of these, and leaning back in his chair, and he's like, and we were great after that.
Yeah.
And I had to do that with somebody else in the dealership, and we were great after that as well.
That's it.
It's like, dude, you don't need to freaking talk people down.
No.
And especially in a business like a car dealership where they can just bounce and go up the street. I never understood the militaristic boot camp-esque way of training people, like public embarrassment, dressing them down.
Yeah.
Dude, they don't have to stick around.
No.
And all you're doing as a manager is shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Because you got to hire again, train them. There's a lot of energy and effort and money that goes into that.
Right.
Just treat them like a human being.
Yeah. And the other part to that too is now you're starting to become known for being demeaning or what have you, as to where, like, honestly, the brokers that I was with prior to Thrive, they're amazing, man. And that's the whole thing. It's like, hey, if there was ever anything that needed to be addressed, was the fact that it's like, hey guys, check it out. We've seen a theme and we want to get ahead of it. And here's what's happening. Here's the issue with it. And here's what we propose, how we're going to fix it. What are your thoughts? Right. Mm-hmm. And at least they made an open forum, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's their brokerage. They could be like, well, we've taken that into consideration and we're still going to do it the way that we're saying, but that wasn't it. It was a matter of going, hey, just like any other family, your work family, there's not always just going to be sunshine, or even the fact that,
of course,
you can't just stay in your lane and they stay in their lane and hopefully you guys never see each other in the break room. No, why don't you get uncomfortable? And that's been my word for this year, has been uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable. Do the thing that you loathe, or that you're scared of or fearful, or you think that you're not good at. Do the thing and then still be bad at it, but do it.
Yeah.
And don't let it whoop you, and just be like, what? I'm going to continue to do this bad, but I'm not going to not do it, So when it comes to communication and relationships, that's the other thing too.
Get great at what you hate.
Yeah. Yeah.